everybody, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what a double close is in real estate and why some investors prefer it and how the process works from start to finish. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what a double close is, how it's different from an assignment, when you might want to use one, and the pros and cons that you should be aware of. I'm recording this video exclusively for my friends over at realestatebees.com, and my name is David Olds. I've been a real estate investor for over 20 years. Wholesaler, flipper, landlord, I've done all the different things, and I've been a part of thousands of investor-focused closings all across the country with my company here. I'm based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Let's get into it. So a double close is when you buy the property and then you immediately resell it, usually on the same day, maybe in 2 days, but there are two very distinct, separate back-to-back closings. So you're doing closing number one, right? The seller is going to sell that property to you, right? It's going from Mrs. Smith's name to your name. And then closing number two, you're going to sell this property to your end buyer, right? So it's going to go from your name to Bob Jones, right? That's your buyer. Two separate real estate transactions, two sets of paperwork, and two settlement statements from the attorney or the closing company. And the difference, right? The difference between what you buy it for and what you sell it for, that is your profit, right? But there's just a little bit more. So let's talk about something very important here, and that is how an assignment is different from a double close, because this is something most beginners confuse, right? And I want to be very, very clear here. With an assignment, you're selling your contract, right? Not the property. You never become the owner. But with a double close, you actually buy that property, your name goes on the deed, even if it's only for a few minutes, and then you resell that to the next buyer, right? So assignments are just paperwork. Double closes are real ownership transfers, right? So why would an investor prefer a double close, right? Well, there are a couple of reasons. And, an investor may want to choose a true double closing instead of an assignment. And here they are. Number one, if your spread or your profit is so large, a double close keeps all of that off of the closing statement. And the seller and your end buyer, they simply never see it, right? They only see the price you're buying it at and the price you're selling it at, not that difference in the middle, not your assignment fee. And some buyers and their lenders, they may refuse to be a part of an assignment, right? Some investors get very funny about signing an assignment agreement, and a double close, it solves that. And number three, title companies prefer it, right? Some closing offices, they don't do assignments anymore. They're getting really funny about that. They've definitely changed in the last 5 years. Sometimes they don't understand them if it's not a normal part of their business. And a double close, it's just cleaner in their eyes. And lastly, it gives you so much more control over the deal. Being an actual owner, even if just for a few minutes, it gives you more flexibility in how that deal is structured. Okay, let's walk through a real world example. And it's a lot simpler than most people think. So you're going to sign your purchase agreement with the seller, Mrs. Smith, right? This is your A to B contract. She's the A person, I'm the B contract, right? She is going to sign that contract with me. She's selling to me. Step two, I'm going to sign a contract with my end buyer, Bob the builder, right? And that's the B to C contract. Remember, I'm the B person in this scenario, and he's the C person, right? So this is what they call it, the B to C contract. Not super important, but just in case you ever hear that term. And I'm going to sell the property to this investor. Now, both contracts, they're all going to go to the title company. Hopefully your transaction coordinator will do this for you, but if you're trying to do it yourself, you certainly can. You want to make sure that you have an investor-friendly title company, but you're going to tell them up front that you want the same day, or sometimes it's called a back-to-back double close, right? And then on closing day, you're going to buy it from the seller, right? You're going to give the seller $100,000. The property is going to come to you. And then you're going to sell to the buyer in your second closing. So the difference between the two prices, right, between the seller and the buyer, that's your profit. And that difference shows up on the second closing statement. It's very clean, it's simple, and it's used by investors all across the country every single day. Now, here are some of the big advantages, right? Number one, your profit, if you're making $1 million, your profit stays private. There are no assignment fee, listings on the HUD or the closing statement. You just bought low and you sold high, right? That's perfect. it gives you so much more control. You actually own the property, even if just for a short period, it could be 1 minute, but you are the owner. So you're the person in control of this second sale. And this is oftentimes more acceptable to traditional buyers or title companies or maybe a hedge fund, because some people, they simply prefer this structure because it feels more like a regular traditional transaction, right? Now, there are a few downsides that you should be aware of, right? You typically have 2 sets of closing costs because remember, it's a double close. This means you're going to pay title fees over here, recording fees, and maybe even transfer taxes, and you're going to do it over here as well. And it can require more coordination, right? 2 closings means 2 time slots, 2 signing sessions, a lot more paperwork, more cost, and depending upon your area, you may need funds for this first closing. Every state and title company, they have their own rules. And this isn't super advanced, but it's a little bit more involved than a simple assignment agreement. So here's how you should know whether or not you should even use a double close, right? Use an assignment when everything is very simple, everybody's comfortable, no bubbles, no troubles. We're just gonna do this transfer. It's gonna be quick. Nobody's gonna be counting your pennies. But you'll wanna use a double close when you want privacy, right? When your fee is large or your buyer or your title company requires it. Both tools are valuable. The key is knowing which one to use in which scenario. So that's what a double closing is in real estate. 2 closings back to back with you temporarily becoming the owner before you sell to your end buyer. It's a very clean, professional way to structure a deal when an assignment isn't exactly the right fit. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I made this video exclusively for my friends over at Real Estate Bees. I'm David Olds, and I will see you at the closing table.